Wait, babe, wait.
Hi, this is Derek with Mechanics Quest coming back to you here. In the previous video, we talked about the Mustang for a brief moment. That I bought a Mustang to flip, and I wanted to do a video on the car. Anyway, here it is right here. It's a '97 Mustang GT. The car does need some work. I'm just going to put that out there. It does have some paint problems and stuff like that. Initially, when I bought the car, I bought it to flip. I just did the normal things like riding, test driving, all that kind of stuff. It runs good. It shifts through all the gears and stuff. It does have some leaks that I need to sort out, but other than that, the first thing that I also did when I bought the car was I took it to the car wash, because you also want to see where the other problems lie with the body of the car. I can tell you right now that there are some known issues. There's some rust spots and there's some body paneling that I'm going to have to look at and reattach. This headlight, these headlights look great, but this one is leaking somehow in some way. I'll have to sort that out too. And then the front bumper is going to take some scuffing and some painting, but I don't see a big problem with it. It does have good tires on it. The brake pads will probably need to be changed. They're looking a little thin, and at the price of brake pads these days, it's just more professional and nicer to just go ahead and replace them. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to replace them, and it doesn't take a whole lot of money, so why not replace them? As you can see, the door was hit and scuffed right here. I'm going to have to replace the door and the rocker panel here. Luckily, there is a junkyard. I got a tip on a junkyard in Aurora, Missouri, which isn't too far from here, that has a Mustang that has a good door and a good rocker panel this same color. Sometimes you can luck out and do it that way. Otherwise, you just got to bite the bullet and buy one and paint it. So it does have the Nitto NT 555Rs on the back, which is kind of funny because we had talked about the rear tires on the Camaro being Nitto NT 555s as well, so I thought it was pretty ironic that this car had those as well. But there is some other bondoing and something weird going on here that I'm going to have to sort out as well. There looks like there's going to be some sanding and some probably some more bondoing after I figure out what's going on behind this. Like I said in the previous video, I'm not very good at painting, and it's just been a learning process for me. So hopefully I'll have a video on that. If you guys want me to post a video, just put in the comments, and I'll make a video on it. But anyway, moving forward here, the car does have exhaust on it. I don't know, the car is lowered, so I don't know if we can get a good picture under here. We might need to take a couple of pictures for you guys, but the car does have glass packs, if you can see them way down there, and it does have an off-road X-pipe, which is pretty popular for these Mustangs and pretty easy to install. But there is some things that is wrong. The rear end is making a little bit of noise, and I'm going to have to sort that out as well. I'll probably put Royal Purple in and some other things. I'll probably inspect the gears and everything like that. If I'm not mistaken, this car does have an 8.8 Ford rear end, and they were known for a little bit of noise, but if I put Royal Purple in there and everything looks good, I might just let it roll. So moving on to this side, there is also a spot right here, you can tell, and I'm gonna have to probably sand this down and probably bondo this and fill this in as well. Now I'm probably going to paint these side scoops. I don't know where this guy was going with this, but anyway, I'll probably have to paint those, and I'll have to touch up a few other things. But inside the car here, it is a little rough, so brace yourself. But get this out of your way. It does need a little bit of detail, and it's not terrible on this side. The window works, everything works. I'm probably gonna have to buy a doorknob to match this door panel, and I might end up having to buy a whole new door panel. This guy has everything just messed up here. The other side, the driver's side, is even worse, and the window does not work on that side. Got a window motor that the guy gave me with the car, but it doesn't look like it doesn't look in very good condition, so I'm gonna just have to figure out what's going on there. Anyway, I do not know where he was going with this steering wheel. This steering wheel looks horrible. I'm probably going to replace it with the original steering wheel one, because it had the horn, which is needed to pass a Missouri inspection, and also it had an airbag for safety. So I don't know where this guy was going with this. I don't know if his steering wheel is broken and he just, you know, decided to band-aid it like this, but I'm probably most likely going to replace the steering wheel, and I'll have a video on that as well if you guys would like to see, if you just want to comment below on that. And the shifting knob here, I don't like this at all. I'm probably going to put a new shifting knob in here, and probably this new trim piece. You can see he's got it. He had it all Phillips screwdrivered up and everything. And this panel right here has got something. This guy has JB welded it in, or cemented it, or super glued it. So I'm gonna have to sort that out as well, along with the full detail here. But anyway, we're moving forward here. I'm gonna pop the hood and let you guys see what's under the hood here. Like I said, it is a 4.6 liter V8.
Hi, Ollie.
It is a 5-speed manual. And I mean, yeah, the car does need a lot of work, but given what I paid for it and the market for these cars, I think I can make some good money off of it. For me, usually $500 to $1,000 is a good, decent profit for me. Anyway, the car does have a lot going on wrong with it here. There's a bunch of wires that are just mangled up here, that I'm going to have to go through and clean up and do all this other stuff. The car did have a subsystem in it, and there was just wires everywhere. I didn't put it on the camera here, but I cleaned out probably 30 pounds of wire out of this car. There was just stuff everywhere. I've cleaned up a few things here and there, but I wanted you guys to see what I was working with before I went too far. It does have a coolant leak somewhere, and it leaks depending on if I'm uphill or downhill. If I'm uphill, the car leaks around the transmission area like it's a main seal. And if it's just sitting on level ground, it leaks out of the front like it's a water pump or something. So I'm suspecting that the intake manifold gasket is bad, and I don't have a flashlight, and I don't know if you guys can see it very well on the camera here, but this car, Ford was notorious for they didn't do a very good job with the intake manifold gaskets on these cars. And sorry guys, it still didn't look very good there, but the intake manifold gaskets are plastic, which is not the smartest thing Ford did with these cars. And I've already ordered a couple of things from eBay. I ordered a new thermostat, I ordered a new intake manifold gasket, and a new intake manifold. Just because they're plastic, nobody ever knows if it's the intake manifold that's leaking or if it's the intake manifold gasket. So I just bit the bullet and I ordered both. And I also, the coolant temp gauge inside the car does not work. And if any of you guys know anything about these cars, they have two coolant temp sensors. One of them is for the gauge inside the car. The other one is for the computer to tell it'll tell the ECU that the car is starting to get to operating temperature, and it'll kick on the cooling fans. So yeah, other than that, I'll be changing the oil, I'll be doing a coolant flush, I'll be putting new coolant in, you know, because you always, when you do anything with your intake, some of that stuff can fall into the motor, and if any of that sludge and gunk gets into your oil pan, it could cause you problems down the road. So anytime you replace an intake manifold gasket or intake manifold as a whole, you want to replace the coolant, you want to replace the thermostat, and you want to replace you just want to replace just all of this stuff. You need to get all of this nasty stuff out of here, the water, everything, even the oil. You need to change the oil too. And other than that, this car it's got a few check engine lights on. One of them happens to be the EGR, which this is the EGR. It's like a control panel for the EGR. I do have a programmer from one of my previous Ford Power Strokes that I flipped, and it didn't work very well with that truck, but it turns out it works with this car, and it's going to allow me to delete the EGR, and because of the H pipe I mentioned, or excuse me, the X pipe I mentioned earlier, it's going to allow me to cancel out all of the O2 sensors at the rear, because the H pipe that was purchased for this car did not come with the little sleeves that you put your original O2 sensors in. It actually just has the harness dangling down there. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to clean that up, and I'm probably gonna put a tune on the car just to eliminate some of these things, and I'm gonna do some things, hide this stuff, clean this stuff up, and I'm most likely going to put an EGR block off plate on and probably just move forward from there. That would be the best, cheapest option given the circumstance. So anyway, this is just a small video of the car, and I will be doing more videos of the progress of the car. I will probably most likely go out to Aurora tomorrow and get the door and the rocker panel, and then I will probably touch up some stuff. But other than that, I need to find a steering wheel and some other things. But eBay, so far, the research that I've done, eBay is the cheapest, best option. Yeah, I have to wait on some stuff, but the cheapest, best option for this car would be to buy this stuff from eBay, and buy some bolts that can replace this stuff. I'm probably gonna paint this. It just looks pretty beat up. I mean, I like the Saline symbol and stuff like that. I like Saline Mustangs and stuff, but this thing is just kind of rusted and beat up, and I'm probably gonna paint it green, or I'm gonna paint it red or something like that. But yeah, other than that, the car runs great. It sounds good. It does have kind of a low end sputter once it warms up, and hence the reason I think that the intake manifold gasket is bad as well. But other than that, other than some cleanup and some fixing and some paint, I think this car will probably bring some good money. If you want to know what I purchased this car for, please comment below, and we can talk more about flipping cars, and we can talk about the stories I've had flipping cars and the money I've made flipping cars, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I won't bore you with the installations of this stuff and the replacements of this stuff, just because there's I can say there's probably 50 videos on how to replace the intake manifold gasket on one of these cars, and I don't want to bore you guys with that. And unless you want to see it, like I said, comment below. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later. All right, bye.